Hey guys, how you all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today what I have for you guys is another video game review. Now, this video game blew me away except for one thing. Let me get into it. So today we are reviewing Rage 2 for the Xbox One. Now, I'm not one of those gamers who has an Xbox One S or even an Xbox One X. I have the Xbox One flat. I have the vanilla, the normal, the beefy crap, whatever we want to say, console. So that's the kind of, research, or that's the basis that I'm basing this thing off. So when I talk about how it runs, just remember that I'm talking about the original Xbox One. So if you haven't seen my Rage unboxing video, do check it out. I know the game's been out for a little bit, but hey, if you want to see me unbox it, and I get the wing stick, which is pretty friggin' awesome. So yeah, check that out. It's a pretty cool video. But yeah, I mean, Rage 2, man, what a good game. I haven't seen an amazing open world FPS game in a while. I love Far Cry 3. And I have Far Cry Primal and I have Far Cry 5. I did not start them because I'm working on another game right now. I also have Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, which I also have not played. Basically, right now I'm working on Watch Dogs 1, and then after I finish Watch Dogs, which will be very soon, I will continue playing through Rage 2. And then I have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and then I have something else, so like Primal or 5. But yeah, so I'm a long way from those, but hey, they look really fun, and I really did enjoy Far Cry 3. I did play a little bit of Fallout 4, and then I got rid of it because the disc was all weird, so hopefully this new version will work, but I did enjoy it. So, I'm a huge FPS fan, right? Not as much as the LEGO games or open world games, but when it comes to first-person shooting like Call of Duty and Battlefront, and like I said, Far Cry 3 and other games, Fallout 4, I really do like them, and I've really wanted just a huge open world FPS game where you just go crazy, and you're a badass and everything, and that's exactly what you are in this game. You're basically the Wasteland hero. So essentially, do you need to play Rage 1, which I believe came out in 2010, over Rage 2 so that you understand it? And the answer to that is no. If you have not played Rage 1, you do not need to. I suggest you play it because it is a fun game. It's a little old, and there's a little bit of a hub area, kind of like Lego Batman 3 or Lego Jurassic World. Of course, those games are a lot better, but you have Rage 1, which is essentially like a shooting gallery, and then you get to like a driving gallery. So it is a little bit different than Rage 2, but it still is fun. But no, you do not need to play it before you get Rage 2. And then, of course, the huge controversy that it's made by Avalanche Studios, the people who made Just Cause 4. Just Cause 4 got a lot of crap, and thankfully they have the spring update, which if you haven't heard, I guess this is a bit of a Just Cause 4 update too. They did fix the game, and they did add more enemies throughout the world, which is amazing. So if you were worried about that, don't be. Perfectly fine, it's awesome. Rage 2, however, does not run poorly. Just Cause 4 runs amazing, right? Because it's on the Apex engine. Just Cause 3 ran like poop, so I don't play it that much. It runs terrible. Rage 2 runs on the engine that runs Just Cause 4, and they both run beautifully. So if you're worried about the performance, do not be. It is perfect. The performance is fantastic. I haven't had a single lag or a single crash. Okay, well, I had one crash in the game, but that was before they updated it, and I haven't had any update or any crash since the update. So if you're worried about how the game runs, again, I have a normal Xbox One. It's, I believe, 1080p, 30 frames per second, and it runs beautifully. Again, yeah, 60 to 30, I guess there's a difference. I don't notice a difference. It runs beautifully. It's so smooth, especially during the combat. So yeah, it looks great. Don't worry about that. If you were worried, Just Cause 4 doesn't look too good with the textures. Now, there are some textures in Rage 2 that don't look perfect. Like, there's a few instances where you're looking at a box or a crate or something. If you're going to have a biatch fit over that, that's you. I don't. If the game generally looks fine, then it looks fine, and I'm happy with it. And Rage 2 looks really, really good, considering, again, it's on an original Xbox One. So it looks great, and it runs beautifully. Now let's talk about the best part about Rage 2, the combat. This, in my opinion, is the best combat in an FPS game I've ever played. And I have all 4 Battlefront games. I have every single Call of Duty game that has offline bots, so all the Black Ops games, Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, World War II, what else? I'm trying to think. That's about it. So I'm a big, first-person shooter fan when it comes to that kind of thing. Again, Far Cry 3, all the combat is great in those games, but nothing is compared to Rage 2. I haven't played Doom, and I haven't played any other id Software game like Wolfenstein or Quake, anything like that. But man, Rage 2, it's just perfect. The pistol, the assault rifle, the friggin' blaster thing that you shoot. It's all so amazing. It's so freaking fun to use. And that's the best part of the game. Yes, it's an open world. Yes, it's got an okay story, which I'll get to in a minute. But the combat is the best part about Rage 2. If you are a huge FPS fan and you love Rage 1, or if you love id, which is basically the godfather of the FPS, you need to get Rage 2 just for that reason. It'll keep you invested the entire time. I love the combat in this game. And I'm not a violent person, I'm not, I love shooting people. I'm not like that. It's just, the combat is so fluid and it doesn't lag. It's like silky smooth. Oh man, it's just freaking amazing. So Rage 2's combat is easily the best thing about the entire game. Now moving forward, here's some stuff that a lot of people have been having issues with, the open world, right? The open world for many reviewers, it was too boring, too empty, nothing happens in it. It's really just an environment that gets you from point A to point B. And when I mean point A and point B, I mean shooting point A to shooting point B. Or a driving segment, or a race, or Mutant Bash TV, which is like a horde mode where you just get a bunch of mutants and, creepy-looking dudes. And then, of course, the race mode where you race other people. It's really, really fun, and those are great side activities that you can constantly go back to. But again, going back to this open world, is it big? Yes. Is it as huge as Just Cause 4, or even any Just Cause game? No. But is it bigger than Rage 1? Oh yeah, it's way bigger than Rage 1. And when you get to the open world, I'd say the first 30 minutes of the game is strictly story content, and then after that, you're thrust open into the wasteland. And man, it's a really fun open world. And this is the part where I tell you guys not to trust any others' reviews. You can watch their reviews just like you're watching my review, but don't necessarily trust me and go, oh, Franchise Fanatic doesn't like Rage 2, or he really likes Rage 2, I'm going to buy it, or I'm not going to buy it. Take what I'm saying and base it on what your opinion is once you buy it or rent it or GameFly it, whatever you want to do. Now, with that being said, again, everyone and their grandma essentially hated this open world, right? It's lazy, it's really just an opportunity to get from point A to point B. But I disagree with that, because the whole point about an open world game, either one big hub or a bunch of smaller hubs, like I said, Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham or Rage 1, is that you have something to run around in, whether that be flying or swimming or driving or boating, helicoptering, those are made up words, but I don't care, or just simply running around, That's what a free roam game is. Free roam games are not about shooting cops in GTA 5, or, just fighting in general, or quests or anything. Open world games are literally about running around and exploring an area. And that's what Rage 2 does best with its open world. It's really fun, for me. Again, this is my opinion. It's really fun for me to just roam around worlds like Lego Jurassic World, or GTA 4, or Watch Dogs, or anything, No Man's Sky. There's so many games where, yeah, I like doing the fighting stuff and the quests and the, whatever, but I really do just like running around and exploring. That's fun to me. That's the whole point of why I buy an open world game, is to go in a world where I'm not in my own, So, yes, Rage 2... It's not the most lively open world, and it kind of is a point A to point B system, but for me, I really enjoy looking at it, and I enjoy the music, and I enjoy just, again, walking through it. These different biomes that you get, like deserts and wetlands and like forests and a bunch of different areas. It's really different, and it's really varied throughout the open world. You're never going to see, in each biome, you're never going to see like the same thing twice, which is really cool. It is a little generic. Most of it is just a barren desert, kind of like Mad Max, but if you can get over of how empty it is, because that's kind of the whole point, an asteroid hit Earth, it's going to be empty, you're not going to have friggin' cities, So you do have to take that into effect, but once you know that Rage 2 is literally an apocalyptic open world game, that mostly desert, but it's got some other things in it too, it's fun for me. I will always enjoy playing Rage 2 to simply explore, wander, and gather things in, and just breathe and, enjoy myself in the open world. And that's probably the best thing I could say about it. Yes, it is kind of, take your car, or take your Icarus, which is like the flying thing, or take your friggin' Batmobile tank from the Dark Knight. it is. You know, you're really just driving along a road, and then, oh, there's some bandits on the side of the road. Jump out, kill them, get back in your car, drive around for a little bit till you get to a base or a new objective. But again, that's fun to me. And when everything's done, when everything's all said and done in the game, and I completed everything, I'm still going to go back to that open world explore because it's fun. So open world, yeah, it's a bit generic. It's not, you know, the GTA 5 or the Lego City Undercover or the Skyrim or whatever that you would want, but it is really fun. It's way better than Rage 1, and it's going to keep you invested just exploring and looking at everything. So that's cool. Now we'll get to the story, which is probably the worst part about the game. It's fun. It's very, very short. I finished the campaign in about 7 hours. You know, typically like a Call of Duty campaign around that same time. But I will say this about Rage 2's campaign. Rage 2, you're going to buy this game for the crazy shit you can do. You're not going to buy this game for the beautiful masterpiece of a story. Alright, let me just say that right now. The campaign is good, but it is nowhere long enough to keep you invested that long, and it is not that enjoyable as a campaign. Sure, it's fun to kill the mutants in the campaign, because the combat is so good, but when you get to the story, it's just not there. It's not a terrible story. Basically, General Cross, who I believe was in Rage 1, essentially is just the bad guy, and he, you know, wants to kill you because he's bad. That's really it. I mean, that's really the only motive in the game. Is it a bad motive? No, because, I mean, if you hark back to, like, you know, comic book movies and comic books in general, you will see that those types of characters, like General Cross, who just want to... He's evil because he's evil, and he wants to kill you because he's evil. That's essentially what you're going to get here. And yeah, it's not up to standard with, you know, say, any other open-world game story, but it's not bad, and it's well worth your time to complete. I mean, you're not going to... You know, because it is so short, you're not going to be like, oh my god, this is so boring, when will it end? You know what I mean? You're not going to be like that. You're going to want to keep chugging through because the campaign is good, but the combat is so good. You're going to want to keep going because of that combat, because of that huge open world that you get to explore. And, you know, traveling between point A and point B from story mission that with Lusum Hagar to Dr. Kvasir is really, really fun. You know, driving along and taking in the open world and then doing a mission. And the great thing about the missions, too, in the campaign is that most of them take place in areas that aren't a desert. You know, you're going to be inside buildings, inside an ark, or inside, you know, a bandit storage bin, or in a storage bin, a bandit storage area, you know, like a huge building with enemies crawling all around it. It's really varied, and it's really, really fun to explore. That's my best thing. But the campaign, like I said, it's good, but it's very generic. It's very short. I really did have fun with it, though. I mean, when you're defeating these bosses, yeah, I played on, I think, normal mode, so the bosses weren't that hard, but it's fun. You know, you're dashing around and all that. It's really, really cool. And the end is not the best ending, but it's better than the ending in Rage 1. That's all I'm going to say. The final boss is really fun. The villain's generic, but he's a cool bad guy. He's like your generic comic book bad guy, you know. That's really all I can say about the campaign. It's a generic comic book campaign. We haven't seen that in a while. You know, most campaigns, like, say, the Elder Scrolls or, you know, anything like that, any, like, other AAA developer, you could even say that with, like, I don't know, Lego Marvel 2 or something. Any AAA developer, their campaigns are great, but sometimes they last too long, and sometimes they're too convoluted for their own good. And it's like, yeah, to hell with that, I just want to explore, you know. Rage 2 is something where you're going to go, okay, it's not that good, but I mean, it's short, sweet, to the point. It's got action, it's got heart, it's got a little bit of humor in there. What more could you want, right? So the campaign, yeah, it's the worst part about the game by far, but it's not that bad. When you look at it for its own standpoint, it's really not the worst thing in the world. You know, you're not going to be like, oh my god, it's terrible. So, that leaves one more thing I want to talk about, or two more things really, about the open world, or that the arcs are in the open world. Now, when you first start up the game, you're not going to have any of your 4 powers, so like the poof, the force thing, or the jump and slam, or the barrier, you like the shield, or the thing that makes people like throw up in the air, or you're not going to have the big fucking gun, the BFG, you're not going to have the assault rifle. You're not going to, you know, well, actually, no, you start off with the assault rifle, but you gain the shotgun in a campaign mission, and the pistol, right? But then there's other things like laser cannons, and one that, you know what, I don't even know that much. I didn't unlock them all, that's what I'm trying to say. Basically, you start off with the hand-select weapons, and then through the open world, you discover these things called arcs, which are like these big things that crash out of the sky, and they have weapons, or they have superpowers for you to, you know, jack up into and just kind of, you know, enjoy and, you know, screw around with and kill bad guys. Now, here's the thing. Here's the one thing. This is by far the biggest thing. Now, if you read my title, I'm going to say, you know, the problem with Rage 2. Again, I've pretty much like Rage 2, right? It's got good graphics, got a good campaign, not the best, but it's alright. It's got really good voice acting, it's got great combat, it's got a pretty cool open world that you're going to keep going back to explore and do missions and, raider outposts and all that. So the game's really, really fun, and I'm at least going to give it an A- because of that. But here's my big problem with this thing, and this problem is not going to detract from the review. So let me just say right now, Rage 2 gets an A- from me. I love it. It's one of my favorite open world games of all time. The combat is great, and it's so much fun to explore the open world. Even if you're just walking around and enjoying it, it's fun to me, and I've had a blast with it, and I can't wait to keep playing it after I finish Watch Dogs. I really, really enjoyed Rage 2. So if you're worried about it, I suggest you buy it. I think it's really, really fun. If you like open world games, if you like crazy stuff, if you like Just Cause, if you like shooting, if you like the original Rage, you're going to love it. It's a great, 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 great game. However, this is the problem I have with Rage 2. Okay, so trying to word this here. Imagine this, right? You complete the campaign, which I just did today. You complete the entire open world, every single bandit outpost, every single race, Mutant Bash TV, all of it. Every mission, every location discovered, every single in your skill tree, all your leveling up, all of that is done. So you have literally nothing else to do except explore the open world. Great, right? You're in your cars, you're running around, you're enjoying it, you're listening to the sounds, you're getting the mutants that are on the side of the road. It's fun, right? You're exploring the open world, it's great. However, my issue with it is that the longevity of the game is not that good. Now, I don't know why game developers do this. I don't know at all. Far Cry 3, Far Cry Primal, and Far Cry 5, and Far Cry 4, and I believe New Dawn, but I don't have those. I just have 3, Primal, and 5. When you complete everything in a Far Cry game, all the bases rather, you can reset the outposts so that you never run out of bad guys to kill. You never run out of, say you just got this new gun in Far Cry 3 and you really want to, get some bad guys, but you don't want to shoot pigs all the time. You have to hunt the animals the whole time. You can reset the outposts, and that makes for an infinitely fun open world shooter. Rage 2 does not have that. So when you do complete everything, and you do finish all the bad guy outposts, and you get the new gun, or the new power, there's nothing to use it on. Yeah, there's a few bandits on the side of the road, but that doesn't count. I want Rage 2, if you guys are listening, Bethesda, id Software, Avalanche Studios, whoever the heck is listening to this video, if they do, and you guys in the comments, and everyone who's watching this video, please, if you agree with me, people agree. If you go on Reddit, if you go on Twitter, everything Rage 2, there's tons of people commenting this. We don't need a new game plus, alright? You can just redo the game in a different difficulty. What we need is respawning enemies. And I don't mean the road, I mean, let's say you just completed an outpost, right? You have everything in the game. You're all done. You have one more outpost. Let's say you get that outpost, and then you're like, okay, that was cool. Walk away, 300, 400 feet, or, turn the game off, come back the next day, go back to that outpost. I want to see bad guys there. Because Rage 2's combat is so amazing, and the open world is so cool. For them to not have enemies in the open world, it's almost like they don't care. It's like, who at this studio, one of the studios that made Rage 2, thought, oh, okay, we're making an open world game, and the whole point about an open world game is longevity. When you complete everything, you still want to go back to that open world and explore and do things and get bad guys and do the quests or whatever, And again, for me, running around is fine, but if you can have that feature, have that feature. Like I said, the Far Cry games have it, and you never run out of things to do. You always have something to do when you boot up a Far Cry game. Always. Because of that Outpost Master. Rage 2, okay, like I said, yeah, there's a few dudes on the road, 4 dudes on the road, and then every freaking 20 miles later, another 4 dudes on the road. But again, that doesn't count. I want to take an outpost, go away for a while, come back to that same outpost, and have the same amount of bad guys, so that you always have new things to do with your guns and your powers. Again, because let's say you take over everything, and then you get the last gun in the game, and then you're like, oh, cool, I got the new gun, but there's nothing to use it on. This sucks. You know what I mean? And that's why people are complaining about Rage 2. It's not because the open world is bad. It's because there's nothing to do in the open world once you finish everything. So Rage 2, if you guys are listening, again, I'm not a game developer, but I cannot imagine it to be that hard to add this in a game. Just update it so that we can, go to these outposts. There's like a billion of them. And just kill enemies. And again, I'm not a violent person, but I mean, when it comes to that, when the combat is so good, I want to do that. You know, I want to go, oh, cool, I got that base with only my pistol. And now I want to go back to that base tomorrow with my buddy and get it with my assault rifle or just my powers, you know? I mean, there's so much experimentation you could do with respawning outposts. It makes no sense for them not to have it. So maybe they glitched, maybe it's like a glitch and they meant to have it, or maybe they're just stupid. I don't know. They're probably stupid. Again, guys, Rage 2 is a phenomenal game. It's a great open world FPS. However, the longevity of it just isn't there, you know? Like I said, Just Cause 4 just updated to have more enemies in the world so that you have more stuff to do instead of just walk around and explore, you know? And that's great. They're listening. Thank you, Avalanche. Now we can go to bases in Just Cause 4 and, you know, shoot one Black Hand member and they have a whole friggin' armada. It's so much fun now. But Rage 2 just doesn't get the point. They didn't get the memo, you know? And I still have a shite ton of stuff to do with Rage 2. I have so much more to go, because again, I'm working on Watch Dogs. But again, once I do finish everything, there's nothing to do except walk around. And again, that's fun, but when you have all these guns and these powers, and there's barely nothing to do with those powers and guns, it's like, what the hell's the point? You know what I mean? So again, guys, I'm going to give Rage 2 an A-. It's just that, guys, if you agree with me, please tell me in the comments. Again, go to Reddit and Twitter. There's tons of people saying the same thing I am. Again, Avalanche, id, Bethesda, everyone who worked on Rage 2, you guys did a great job. I really love it. And again, this is me playing it on an Xbox One original. I have had 0 issues, 0 crashes, except for that one, but that was before the update. And then 0 lag. I mean, it's just a great game, all in all. But again, guys, if you're listening, please update the game so that enemies respawn. I don't care if you have to go in the options and hit respawn all bases. Or I don't care if you walk away and 20 minutes later they're back. Just do something, because again, this game is begging for this longevity. It's begging for enemies to respawn, because you have all these weapons. What are you going to use them on? The air? You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, I hope if you get what I'm saying. So that was my review, and then that was my, you know, big problem with Rage 2 in the end there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoy Rage 2. If you have it, tell me what you think about it. And again, if you haven't seen my unboxing video, check it out. It's really, really cool. And once I get a little bit more Rage 2 done, I'm going to have some gameplay videos up soon, I hope. I plan to do some live streams. I've never done a live stream before, so I don't know how that's going to work. But I want to live stream Rage 2 or some game and just chat with my subscribers. And, you know, I could say, hey, you want me to do that? Okay, I'll do that. You know, so I want to kind of get involved with my subscribers more than just, you know, talking and reviews. So hopefully I can get a live stream up soon. But other than that, I mean, I really enjoy Rage 2. It's effing phenomenal. It's really, really fun, and I enjoy it. But again, we just need that one thing. Honestly, I'm giving it an A-, but if they were to add respawning enemies, it'd be an A+ by far. I mean, that one crash and the story, it don't matter. If we have respawning enemies, the game will never get boring, you know? Or we'll never have nothing to do, because we can always experiment with new things and guns and powers. But anyway, guys, I really hope they update it. I really, really do, because again, Rage 2 is so good, and it's just begging for that feature, and it's not there, and it's hurting it. So guys, again, I really love Rage 2, but we need that. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Sorry if this was a little bit of a longer video, but I wanted to get my review out, and then my big issue with it. So again, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Normally I post a video every single day. Sometimes I'll take a day or two off. Other than that, I try to get stuff out there. And thank you guys for my Disney tribute as well. You guys rocked it. I loved making it, and you guys love it, so thank you very much for that. The Disney tribute rocked, and I'm glad you guys liked it. So thank you. And again, I hope you enjoy Rage 2, and again, tell me in the comments if you want to see enemies respawn or if you're okay with it being empty. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.